Alrighty, welcome to the Critics Club, episode 3. It's our most difficult one yet. I nearly cried when trying to write this list, and I wrote it as per tradition today, 3 hours before this podcast started.
Regrets?
Fuck regrets, I have none.
No regrets.
So tonight, just like I said, special episode, we're going to be covering the 2000s. For those who don't wish to do the math, that's technically 2000 through 2010.
Well, I thought it was 9.
9?
Yeah. So
we've had our first
on 0.
We've had our first correction of the night, and I am all
Hopefully
for it.
none of your movies are from 2010.
Yeah, I know.
None of them are. No, I think I stopped. I think I stopped at 2008.
I do have in my top 10. I do have a 2009, so I have 2 2009s.
Oh, must have been a good year. Let's see.
So
Actually, 2009 was a fucking banger year.
I have to look. So I'm gonna say that I looked up one list, and I didn't look at any other lists because by the time I got through the end of that list, I was nearly like, Jesus fuck. It's too much. There's too much. And so I started kind of doing, I would say a scattergun approach, but I started going like, if I really, I kind of based on like, would I rewatch it today? And that's how I approached it. Made things much easier because there's a ton of films where I would say like, this is a great film, you should watch it, but I'm not necessarily certain that I would have it on my shelf.
Right.
So that being said, David, since you were last time, you will be first this time.
Because you're a little sick boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David's going through some stuff.
Yeah, I managed to finally catch COVID for the first time. So,
Boo.
it is, especially considering I feel like I was assaulted with this virus. So, yeah, I was under the firm belief that I couldn't get it, like legit, because like I said, I hadn't been sick in.
There are a lot of people who think that.
Well, I mean, in my defense, I also haven't been sick in like literally almost a decade.
So
no cold. No
here's where I want to argue slightly with you on that. Every time the cold comes around, and what I mean by cold, I mean like our temperature drops below 60 degrees because Texas is insane. David gets he's not great. David gets, and I quote, 6 symptoms where he's just like, I can't handle the cold.
Oh, are you talking about my actual legitimate allergy to cold weather?
Yeah, that's what in the business we call getting sick.
No, I actually have an allergic reaction. I get hives on my skin.
What?
Yeah, so if the temperature gets too cold, like so what ends up happening is
are you a lizard person?
I might be.
What the fuck?
No, so I figured this out when I was actually working a manual labor job in the freezer. I was like moving kegs around and stuff like that, and my skin will become super dry, and then I start actually like itching to the point where I start getting red welts all over my skin. And so I found that to be the normal case under anything under about 30 degrees. So winter, I've lived in states where there was actual winter, and I was miserable because I would always be very itchy. My skin was very dry. And sometimes if it got too cold, I would literally break out in hives.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm definitely tropical.
Have you ever gone to like a dermatologist? Not to digress this entire podcast.
Oh, it's too late. It's already off the rails.
Have you gone to a dermatologist about this?
No, I actually, that's probably next on my list of things to count down to check off as I'm nearing 40. So first was a general checkup with a doctor. Yeah, making sure everything's working properly. All the organs are doing the things that they're supposed to. My ticker's working properly, stuff like that. Then next is the nutrition. I'm currently with a nutritionist, trying to come up with a better way of eating, becoming more healthy, and that sort of thing.
As I eat a bowl of jelly beans.
I really have no room to say anything because I literally scarfed down half a pint of ice cream just now. So,
I mean, I did go to the pool for an hour before this, so it's not a great excuse, but it is my excuse.
Hey, you did a little bit of exercise. You're balancing it out. But yeah, no, that's the plan anyway. Now, how closely and how well I do this it's a different thing. But I guess we'll segue back in. Hey, Jim. Before the podcast started, you had asked me a question, and I think we should share with the audience. Jim's dead.
Jim has muted himself.
Jim died. I think he might be. He's having aggressive diarrhea.
Oh my lord.
Sorry,
Jim. If you were alive. The question was this list hard?
So I answered Jim. I said exactly like this. It was probably one of the hardest lists we've ever had to do.
I don't know what I hit.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. I've been here the whole time.
He's like yelling at me.
Sorry, man.
It's okay. You had an emergency.
And Jim's like, one symptom of COVID is not hearing loss. Yeah, so
go on.
Right. So I was telling Jim, this is actually one of the hardest lists I've ever had to do, especially considering the fact that I actually graduated from high school in 2003. So the beginning of the millennia, it was, as a teenager, is exactly where I started watching all these movies. So I was in the theaters all the time. Doing dates, doing group activities, all that sort of stuff. I remember.
Oh, sorry. When you say group activities, I was like, "Are you having an orgy in the theater? Like, what does that mean?"
Hey, there's those theaters that actually had the lover's seat, So I had a blanket, but that's not here or there. But
thank God.
Yeah. No, but yeah, that's when I watched the majority of the horror movies I've watched. Because jump scares, girls clinging onto you for dear life, nothing beats the experience of having nails getting dug into your arm because someone's freaking out next to you. Horror movies for me were more painful than scary. But I guess I was able to do it. I started out with a list of 140. And then I kept narrowing it down, changing my mind 100 times. And then I came up with my list. And basically the list is stuff that I would watch today, tomorrow, again and again. These are movies that I absolutely adore. And I wholly believe that they were important. Some of them, not really, but other ones were pretty impactful. To cinema in general. So I guess I'm ready when you guys are.
Go for it, homie.
Every time it started.
All right. So number 10. My first movie is Tropic Thunder.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I actually struggled with this one. The reason why is because it's a great movie, but it's also it potentially in today's climate could be a divisive one. But that being said, everybody I've talked to, regardless of race, creed, or religion, absolutely loves this movie because people take it for what it is. It's a comedy. It's beautifully done. When it was released, it was back in 2008, so not that old. And for 107 minutes, I could not stop laughing. The cameos, the people that worked it, Ben Stiller, obviously Robert Downey Jr., and the very surprise cameo, which I didn't even realize it was a cameo or who it was, Tom Cruise, which basically he stole the show. He really did.
Matthew McConaughey, yep.
Oh, the Matthew McConaughey was beautiful. Like everything was great about the movie.
They were supposed to make a Tom Cruise like version, like a movie with just him.
And I have no doubts because he was completely unhinged, and it was great. What the crazy part is, I did a little bit of research. The budget was $92 million, and it actually returned on double, roughly, $195 million, $195.7 million in the box office. So it did okay. But yeah, it's a movie that I wholly recommend for people to watch if you're in the mood to laugh, not take life too seriously, and watch a bunch of idiot actors get themselves into a lot of shenanigans.
My number 41.
Awesome. You have terrible taste, Jim, but that's besides the point.
See? There it is.
Oh, damn it. Fucking trying to kill me here. Number 9 is Live Free or Die Hard. I don't know if anyone knows this movie.
Lord.
I love this movie.
Is that number 4?
3.
No, definitely not.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Okay, so there was Die Hard with a Vengeance. What was the third one?
Die Hard 3.
Die Hard 3. I have to look this up.
I'm looking it up.
Is there a Die Hard 3? That's yes. Die Hard with Vengeance. Oh, there's some. All right, this is stupid.
Yeah, that's Die Hard with a Vengeance is Die Hard 3.
Die Hard with a Vengeance is 3. Die Hard 2 is just Die Hard.
Okay,
Die Hard, Live Free or Die Hard is the 4th one. That's the only good one in the post 2000 sequels.
Right. And Live Free or Die Hard, actually, like, I fell in love with it because, for one, Timothy Olyphant is, like, just a phenomenal bad guy. I hated his guts. And at the same time, I also, like, mildly respected him. And the fact that Maggie Q just got reduced down to a hot kung fu chick was a little bit terrible and hilarious at the same time. But the movie itself, I mean, they have a bunch of great actors, some really good cameos. Kevin Smith was in it, if you didn't know. Yep. Which I was not ready for that, by the way.
The reason why Cop Out was made was because of this movie. So I didn't think that's a terrible thing or not, but that's true.
I don't doubt it because, basically, Justin Long plays a hacker, which, for a 30-year-old something at this point in his life, he plays a young 20-year-old pretty well. Mm-hmm. And
that's always been him, though. Like, he's always played a young dude.
Well, he doesn't exactly look old. That's the thing. Like, he's always had a very youthful appearance. So, I mean, like, why not cast somebody who looks young but does have the maturity of a seasoned actor? It kind of makes sense. But yeah, no, all the people in the movie I really enjoyed. There was a couple of cameos that I really thought was great. There was a couple of Star Trek actors that managed to be on the movie, which I thought was fun. And yeah, that's all I had to say on that movie. It was great. Let's see. Number 8 is Remember the Titans. So it was a movie I watched and yeah, it was a movie I watched in high school. I think it was like my senior year, and the movie was just only a couple years old at that point. And I just remember watching it, being heartbroken, like just being from Texas. Naturally, football is such a big thing. Watching a movie about it was only the thing you do. And yeah, I never got a chance to watch it in theaters, but I'm glad I watched it eventually.
One of the few sports films I like.
I have never seen it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Oh man, I don't know. Do you know anything about it, Jim?
It came out of the. I'll just tell you this. It came out of the wrong time for me. I was at peak anti-sports.
Yeah, so, I mean, don't get me wrong. Yes, it is a high school football movie, but it really isn't at the same time. It's more of a social commentary about segregation and the very hard fought road of societal reintegration. And, it was masterfully done. Okay, so I'm moving on. Number 7, Iron Man. Surprisingly not higher on my list, but there's a few other movies that I will watch over Iron Man if I get a chance. But because it started Marvel, it kicked off the whole comic book genre to what it is today. I have to give it its due. But it did not make my top 5. So yeah. Number 6.
I still think that's the best Marvel movie they've ever made.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I actually have a hard time between Iron Man and Black Panther.
That's also a very good movie.
Black Panther is probably one of my favorite movies. Period.
Can I just, so I'm just going to interject just a second here. I'm going to pause your time. I watched Wolverine Deadpool last night. Or I'm sorry, Deadpool and Wolverine. No spoilers.
Good, because I don't have to drive out and beat you.
No spoilers. Whenever you do watch it, I said it in chat last night, shocked at the jokes that made it into that movie. And I'm not talking like raunchy jokes. I expected that because it's rated R. I'm just talking about the jokes that they somehow snuck in, and you'll get it pretty quickly, like when you watch and you just go, fuck. You might have a couple, but yeah, I was on the fence about watching that in theaters, but I was like, you know what? I needed like a fun movie, and that was definitely, it was great. It was great, like start to finish. So highly recommend.
Movie in the theaters that had the worst soundtrack I've ever heard from a movie.
Was it Twisters?
Yes.
Listen,
God.
You don't like
listen.
country?
Oh my god, dude.
Here's the thing about that movie. I really want to see it, but I also know like what I'm getting into when I watch it. So I'm all right with it.
It's all about Glenn Powell's dreamy bone structure.
Oh, come on.
Daisy Edgar Jones is pretty great too, so I'm not gonna.
Who?
I'm not gonna. The actress in that movie, the lead actress.
Who?
Okay.
Actually, I'm not surprised he doesn't know who that is, because he probably has never seen Where the Crawdad Sings.
That's the only thing I've seen.
I read the.
Yeah. And then I don't think you watched the Andrew Garfield Mormonism murder investigation show.
You lost me at Mormon.
Where the light touches, I think, is what the name of that show is. Something like that. It was a great series. No, it was a great series.
Jim fell asleep over there.
No, that was my wife yawning.
Damn.
she was like, let me just poke in here real quick.
Yawn.
But yeah, all right, hit and resume.
All right, so number 6, Ocean's 11. I love that movie. It was like the first movie I ever saw with a full ensemble cast.
Underrated as fuck movie.
I'm sorry?
That movie's underrated, I think.
Oh, underrated. I was about to fight.
No, I like that movie a lot.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. George Clooney, Matt Damon, Bernie Mac, all the people. Just phenomenal. The cast was great. Everyone was just it to me, it makes movies like oh damn it. Bomb movie that just came out.
No Time to Die.
No, Mushroom Cloud movie.
Oh, Oppenheimer.
Thank you. It made movies like that possible.
Sorry, I heard you say Bond.
You too.
No, bomb.
Speaking of which, I'm gonna pause this timer again. You son of a bitch!
Look, motherfucker, I got COVID. Do you want me to just come over there and lick?
This was like 2 weeks ago.
It was last week, and
no, it was not.
It was so last week.
I'm gonna check chat.
No, you can check chat.
July 24th.
Yeah, it's last week.
It was not last week.
It was last week.
It was 2 weeks ago. To the day.
Real quick to bring it back to movies, they are coming out with a novelization for each of the Ty West from the X, Pearl, and Maxine series. I am so excited to read those. Okay.
I need to think about what you just said. Say that one more time.
So, the author, whose name is Tim Wagner, is writing the novelization for the books X, Pearl, and Maxine.
Oh, okay. The Mia Goth films.
Yes. I haven't seen Maxine really cool. yet, but the other two are phenomenal.
I don't know. I'm a little hesitant about her, considering that there's rumors that she like kicked an extra in the head or something, like on purpose.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, and also I thought she's married to Shia LaBeouf, which makes complete sense.
I think they're like partners. I don't think they're married. I don't
Mia, a background
fantastic in these movies.
A background actor sued Mia Goth in January, alleging that she intentionally kicked him in the head during a scene last April.
Oh Lord!
No.
I don't know if it's true or not.
Did he get hurt?
It said it hurt him enough to remove the dried blood.
So not really healed.
It's probably an accident. I don't think she would ever intentionally.
I know, like, people really get into a scene, and sometimes they don't pull their punches or pull their kicks, I guess, or whatever. John Reese was like fucking on Lord of the Rings. And the stunt people are like, okay, now you don't actually have to hit us. And he's like, no, fuck that. And he like swing his axe into him every single time. So, yeah, it happens. Right. I mean, but that's kind of par for the course if you're a stunt person. So suck it up, Buttercup. That's my 2 thoughts on that.
All right, I'm going to hit play on your time again.
All right.
This is so nice. I don't have to, like, actually keep track.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm definitely not going to use up all 20 minutes that I have left. But yeah, anyways. The top 5 is number 5 is Black Hawk Down. It was probably my first in theater war movie that I ever saw. And it came out right after 9/11. So I remember like being much young when at that age. Patriotism was running very high. Most of the people that I knew that were old enough immediately signed up for the military. They joined this to serve, and I was too young at the time. In 2001, but one of the movies I watched to kind of help me understand a little bit more was Black Hawk Down, and I remember how crazy that movie was. What I never realized was how star-studded the cast was. It may have just been people that weren't that big yet, but a lot of the people who in that movie became bigger stars. Ewan McGregor happens to be one of them, and he moved on to things like Star Wars. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm glad
he
with that movie.
He made Star Wars before Black Hawk Down.
Did Star Wars old? Wait,
it's technically Phantom. Yeah, Phantom of the Menace was 99. This was 2001. Wow. Attack of the Clones was 2002.
Was it?
Can I be honest? Can I say something that might make you mad? I think Black Hawk Down ruined a bunch of careers.
You think so?
Wow. Oh, Josh Hartnett. Okay.
That movie. I don't. No.
No. Like I don't have any emotional ties to Black Hawk Down, so
I think that movie is super overrated, and it was just a cash grab for Saving Private Ryan type money.
I mean, I guess, but like I honestly I couldn't tell you. You very well might be right in terms of like the intent.
People love that movie though, so I'm definitely in the minority.
I mean, there's definitely problems with the movie. Like any war movie, Hollywood has to make somebody the bad guy. So naturally, the bad guy being the Somalian people. But like in any, like in any war, there's the extreme bad people and there's just normal people.
Have you ever seen Hotel Rwanda?
Yes,
with Don Cheadle. Really good movie.
I have not. David, I also forgot to tell you that I still haven't watched Ocean's 11. Anyways, move on.
You've never watched Ocean's 11?
No, so that's one of my movies that like I've started on cable, and then I was like, I'm gonna finish this one day, and it's something that always comes up, and I never finish the fucking movie.
All that in theaters.
Oh, well, I can see that. It's definitely one of those movies where either you're gonna really enjoy it and you can't stop watching it, or you're just not gonna be into it.
I want to watch it for sure. It's just one of those things where like it came on too late and I had to go to bed, or like there's just there's something always came up. One of those types of things, because like I have it on my Plex server. And I definitely think it's a film I would enjoy. Like, I love heist movies. I love them.
Wait, you love heist movies and you still haven't seen Ocean's 11?
Yeah, like, I get it. I know that's kind of contradictory, but I don't know.
That's like...
No, don't.
I'm not
don't say
it's a heist movie. It's not. Let me make that perfectly clear. What I was gonna say, it's a remake of one of the better.
It's a Rat Pack movie, the original.
Yeah, so the original one actually had Frank Sinatra in it.
Yeah, the Rat Pack, all of them. Dean Martin.
Do you not know who the Rat Pack is, David?
Actually, it didn't occur to me until just now, but I do now. I always thought Rat Pack was like a production company.
Oh,
Rat Pack.
It is. I'm pretty sure it was Brett Ratner's production company.
But the Rat Pack was Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., and one other guy I can't remember. And then the Brat Pack was like all the John Hughes guys from the 80s and girls.
Makes sense. All right, well, move on to number 4. Kill Bill Volume 1.
Oh, interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, I absolutely love Kill Bill.
You have that higher than I do.
And I struggled with that, actually. I struggled with that. The reason why it made my top 5 is because I remember watching it for the first time. I watched it on DVD. I'd never watched it on video because I didn't know what it was, because especially back then, I love watching movies, but I was more into the turn your brain off and don't really give a crap about anything kind of movie. So what I mean by that was obviously movies like Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Excuse me. Movies like that where it was just like action, not a lot of plot, not a lot of story, that sort of thing. And so knowing the director and the actors wasn't really that important to me. But I believe a ex-girlfriend at the time was a really big Travolta fan, but she was more but because of that, she by proxy became a Tarantino fan because of Pulp Fiction. So we watched all the Tarantino movies, and Kill Bill came out, and I watched it on DVD. And man, I tell you what, watching Irma Thurman in a yellow jumpsuit with a samurai sword going through everybody, I was enamored from that point on, and just watching the gratuitous violence. And I'll be honest with you, I had to watch it several times, mainly because I couldn't really understand the storyline, because it was one of those movies where you get several points of view, and it was hard for me to realize that there was an actual story, a revenge story behind it.
Yeah, I mean, the man is the king of like non-linear storytelling,
right? Which it was very difficult for me to piece together, and it took me a few watches to actually figure that out. And you got to remember, this was before it wasn't before the internet, but it was really before internet became a source like it is now. So there was some people talking about it online, but it was like I mean,
it was 3. I mean, it was very primitive. A lot of people still internet wise.
Right, so there wasn't like a definitive guide like there is now, where I could just go, Wikipedia, Kill Bill, and it gives you a full synopsis and what actually happened and what happened in that scene and that that sort of thing. So that was back when you had to watch movies multiple times just to fully understand everything that happened. But yeah, man, it was a great movie. I love watching it. What's mind-blowing is it was all done on a budget of $30 million. So I thought that was cool.
And we'll talk. And if you want it, if you know it, great. But do you know how much it made?
Yeah, I have it written down. $180.9 million.
Yeah, $181 million.
Crazy. Oh, well deserved, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. So number 3 is The Dark Knight.
This will be interesting.
So I know I have said before many times that I thought The Dark Knight was not as good of a movie as everyone says it is. It is a great movie, but I will never say it's not a great movie. I think the movie's status was propelled because Heath Ledger played the Joker, and he did such a damn good job playing it. But as a Batman movie, it was terrible.
I don't know about terrible, but I was with you until that extreme.
Hold on. Let me hit the pause button here just a second. You're saying it's a bad Batman film compared to what? Like, what is your benchmark for a bad/good Batman film?
Batman Returns.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the best Batman movie in my opinion.
Okay, well, yes, but David, is there a worse Batman film than that?
Batman and Robin.
Okay, so if we're getting, I'm just trying to get like a hierarchy here.
This was just as bad. I would say it's pretty bad too. So the reason why I didn't think it was a good Batman movie is because, for one, the movie started getting a little bit too, like, it was great because you only had kind of like one made bad guy for a while, but then you started seeing all these like kind of like overly done returns. And while it works good in comic books, where in comic books you can have multiple bad guys as long as they serve the purpose of the main bad guy character, if you will, like the main villain. That's exactly the kind of like thing. But like how it happened with Spider-Man 3, it just started becoming too convoluted with too many different things. Like Harvey Dent turning bad. Like everyone, like anyone who's ever seen a Batman or who knows Batman, the comic books, knows that Harvey Dent eventually becomes Two-Face. But to kind of underscore his story and his transformation, I felt didn't do that character justice, just as much as Scarecrow being a very subplot to both Batman Begins and Batman The Dark Knight Rises. The Dark Knight. So like I'm like, why is he even in The Dark Knight? I know like the movie itself is based on I think I was it like Batman's A Halloween Night or something of like that comic book.
Oh, the Long Halloween.
There you go. The Long Halloween.
Very, very, very
loosely based. Right. But that's the thing, like at some point you just have too many.
Jeff, you got to pause them.
Right. And I get why they did it, but at the same time, like you could have cut the time of the runtime a little bit by that. And so, yeah, I just felt like, as a Batman movie, it could have been a lot tighter, a lot better. But as a movie, overall movie experience, you'll never see anything like it. We'll never see anything like it again. And that's why it's definitely my top 3.
Okay.
Now for my second to first, or second to last, number 2, and then spot is Gladiator. I Russell Crowe, Joaquin Phoenix. I mean, damn, this movie. Whew, it was amazing. I remember I didn't get a chance to watch it in theaters. Unfortunately, I was too young. Pimply faced 14-year-old won't make it past the movie booth, but I rented that DVD as fast as I could, and Blockbuster didn't give a shit. And yeah, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Right on.
Now my number 1. Now I'm gonna see if anyone can guess it.
I mean, I think I know what it is.
Oh, you know what it is, Jim. So I'm gonna let you try to see. I'm gonna let you guess.
No, I want you to have the.
Oh,
I'll tell you if I'm right, but I want you to have.
Oh, I know you're gonna say it. I know you're right, and I know I know.
No, Jim, I want you to guess it like you fucking did me. The one fucking podcast.
You really want me to guess it?
The Matrix.
I really do.
Casino Royale.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course it is. It is my number one movie. It is my favorite movie of all time.
Really?
It is my favorite Bond film. It is my favorite Bond film.
It is also my favorite Bond film. Just so
it's really, it's one of those movies where you have to have a really good bad guy, and man, is Lashif a good bad guy? Because let's face it, he's basically a Bond in his own right. He's a mirror of Bond, because they're both both very smart. They're both work in the shadows. They're both good looking men, and the fact that they have a very intimate scene with a chair. Has made every man forever more across their legs and wince in pain. But like, that movie couldn't have been better cast. I remember being a very big Daniel Craig naysayer, to my shame. Because when it first came out, my Bond was Pierce Brosnan. That's the Bond I grew up with up until that point. And I'm like, what a blonde Bond? Come on, let's be serious. Like, this is never going to work. And I am so glad I was wrong.
I mean, that's how he is in the books.
Is he really blonde in the books? I did not know that, actually. I still have yet to read a Bond book. I have them. I just haven't gotten to them. But the way that they started, though, for me was just mind blowing. I mean, obviously parkour was so big back then. The fact that it made it to the movies, but not only that, but like helped introduce.
I thought that was Quantum of Solace.
No.
Wait, run that by me one more time.
The intro scene to it wasn't the intro scene to Quantum of Solace, Casino Royale, but it was a introduction to Bond after he receives his 00 status for the first time. Was the free running parkour scenes.
Oh,
because
yeah,
the Bond maker himself is actually the guy who invented free running parkour.
Yeah, so, that was Casino.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember what he's talking about.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, like,
it's also in Quantum of Solace, though, at the very beginning.
No, the Quantum of Solace one was when they did the chase with the chasing down Mr. White.
Yeah, but that's parkour.
In a car?
When he gets out of the... Okay, I guess I'm just wrong.
Maybe when they were chasing, like when he was chasing that double agent that nearly shot him.
When I get to this in my watching of Bond, I will clarify in our chat what happened.
Oh, I just finished watching it less than a week ago. I can tell you, I don't remember a parkour scene at all.
Okay.
But like I said, I can see where you might think there was a little bit of parkour. I trust your
opinion more than I trust my opinion on it.
But I get there was a little bit of like a chase scene when he was chasing after the double agent, but it wasn't really that parkoury in my opinion. It was more like a agile race.
Quantum of Solace was a dumpster fire. Let's just.
Oh, that movie sucks. Yeah.
It had its problems. We can talk about that in another podcast.
Myself?
Okay.
When you watch Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, and like a marathon,
yeah,
it works.
Oh, it's amazing.
You're like, when you're like, I'm just gonna watch Quantum of Solace. No, sir.
Yeah, but that's not how I'm doing I'm still on Goldfinger. Like I'm literally like pacing myself. I was like, I'm not gonna try to do this every weekend. I'm gonna get burned out, and I'm gonna have fucking Sean Connery in my dreams just going, yes, we've got to do the thing,
I'm a
Emma.
woman with an open hand.
We've got to do it. Oh,
So here's the thing.
man talk.
Quantum of Solace is a good movie. I think it's a movie that obviously could have been better because of the whole writer's strike thing and everything. But for what it is, what it was given, the chances that it was given, and the fact that it just basically started 5 minutes after Casino Royale ends, I thought it was a good movie for what it is. But yeah, back to Casino Royale. The one thing I definitely have to say for that movie is I don't know how they did it, but they somehow made poker exciting. I was drawn into it.
Did they do poker or Texas Hold'em?
Technically, it was Texas Hold'em. Because
in the original it was like Baccarat or something like that, right?
Baccarat, yeah.
Yeah, Baccarat.
Mm-hmm. That is correct. I mean, like, again, poker and Texas Hold'em is synonymous at this point. Either way, it's not exactly what I would consider a exciting card game, especially for people who don't really know or understand the game. They somehow managed to make it exciting enough to keep you interested.
So, Casino Royale is my second favorite Bond film.
Yeah, I know, but
we've talked about this,
right? And you're more of like a artsy, cinematic kind of person, and you appreciate that sort of thing more.
It just looks better, man. Like, I don't like. From a cinematography perspective, it just looks better, especially those shots in Scotland.
I'm not debating that it isn't a very beautiful movie, but for me, Casino Royale is the superior film, mainly because of what it did with the story. It reboot Bond. Everything about it introduced us to a brand new character, a character that was not Bond, and
even if he didn't become Bond.
Right, but he didn't become Bond until like a more Bondish character until arguably later into that movie, and even then not until the second movie, like a third way through. So, that being said, for a raw character, for an actor like Daniel Craig, it was probably one of the best movies I saw for that decade.
All right, well, 5 seconds to spare.
I do it, baby.
Hey, you did it.
Now let me go diet.
Go die. All right. So we're gonna immediately jump into mine. Number 10 was directed by. I'm gonna see if y'all can guess this off the top. Andrew Adamson. Vicky Jensen. Okay. Released by DreamWorks Animation.
Is it?
And it's released in 2001.
Oh, it's How to Train Your Dragon.
No, it's Shrek.
I know. I'm just fucking.
This may seem like an odd placement on my list. First of all, I talked to Julie and I said, if you were to pick a movie from the 2000s, which she just is Shrek. She's like, obviously Shrek. That'd be her number one. So this one holds like a special place. I've got basically Cartoon Network was holding a contest for Shrek. You had to call in, and if you did it in a certain amount of time, you would win a prize. Well, I wasn't supposed to call anyone I didn't know on the telephone as a kid. I was like 11 at this time. I did it without my parents knowing, and I won a VHS copy of Shrek. And this just showed up at the house one day, and my mom was like, how did this get here? And I'm like, I don't know. I guess someone just really likes us. Definitely not a Christmas movie, but for whatever reason, for years, every Christmas Eve, I would watch Shrek. Couldn't tell you why. I still don't have a reason why. But that's like firmly like bolted into my brain. Great movie for me. I mean, it's not perfect, but Michael Myers is great. I think the cast is just it's a good movie. So that's all I'll say about that. Number 9. This was a movie I saw right after I moved to Texas. So this was 2003. Was kind of a shot in the dark for Disney because it's based off of a theme park ride. And yeah, I don't know why it works as well as it does, but Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl.
Soundtrack, bro.
Hell yeah. I mean, this is also one of those films that I may have... It lifted a bit of inspiration from the pirate way of life, and it made its way onto my computer. And that's how I watched it the first time. One of the first movies that I, whatever you want to call it. I do own the Blu-ray of it. I will say it's probably telling that I do not own the Blu-rays of Dead Man's Chest or At World's End, because those movies just did not quite hit the same way. Jack Sparrow, pretty iconic character, would not have been done the way it would have done without Johnny Depp. You can say whatever you want about him at this stage, that's fine, but that movie would not have succeeded if it wasn't for his performance.
Oh, absolutely not.
At all.
I have a little tidbit of information about Pirates of the Caribbean you may not know.
Oh, this will be interesting.
It's about who actually wrote the music for Pirates of the Caribbean.
It's Claus Badelt.
Right, but was it really?
What do you mean?
So, if you are a big soundtrack fan person, there's a guy named Hans Zimmer. And
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer actually his cadence and style is very much in the main theme of the song of the main theme of the Pirates of the Caribbean film.
He helped. He helped because Claus Badelt was a student of Hans Zimmer.
Right, but Hans Zimmer, and the rumor and the belief is that Hans Zimmer did the initial penning, and then Claus finished it.
So my knowledge of that soundtrack is that it was incredibly rushed. Because they basically had very little time. I know Hans Zimmer helped. I know Klaus is the one that is technically the one that was credited as the composer. Right. But this is one of those situations where I think it's so with guilds rules regulations, you can only have in certain cases one director on a film,
right?
One writer on a film. Now obviously that's changed. You can have multiple writers on a film, but it used to be the case where you can only have one. So I think what happened was with this is that it was a pure collaboration. Hans Zimmer was like, you know what, I'm gonna let you, this is your thing, you did the majority of the work, I'm gonna let you take it, because he also, Hans Zimmer did the scores for the rest of this trilogy.
Yeah, and Hans Zimmer actually was so busy doing the theme for another great 2000s movie, The Last Samurai, and that's why he declined the initial request to do the...
That movie sucks, dude.
Wait, what movie was it?
The Last Samurai.
Oh, yeah. I never watched it.
It was okay. When I watched it was okay.
It sucks.
It was okay. No. For movies that suck, we don't say they suck. We say they were okay.
No, it sucks.
Yeah, so I mean, I do appreciate that you came in with that knowledge, but dude, soundtracks are like huge for me. Huge. I love I've got a whole section.
Soundtrack.
Yeah,
It was a great soundtrack, but like I said, no, I don't doubt that Klaus did a lot too for the soundtrack, but that cadence and that initial
it's unmistakably Hans Zimmer.
it's 100% Hans Zimmer.
But at the same time, it makes sense. He was a student of I get why it happened.
Great artist steal.
Oh, I mean Hans Zimmer 100% steals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And from himself a lot. Holy shit. One of Hans Zimmer's most underrated scores that probably a lot of people don't like or listen to, the Sherlock Holmes theme.
Oh, I really love that one.
Love that fucking soundtrack.
That was a Hans Zimmer soundtrack?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. And I mean Interstellar, and
Well, yeah,
I could go on. Number 8 was, man, this is one of those movies that was kind of, I don't want to say it's a sleeper because it wasn't at the time, but the visual effects were pretty fucking groundbreaking. It was also, if I'm not mistaken, done on a really tight budget by Neil Blomkamp.
Cool. Ooh.
District 9.
God damn, so good.
So that movie was definitely on my top 15. And it was one of those few movies where I'm like, I love this movie. It was so good. The social commentary was phenomenal. It was very much a time like this in this day and age, this time period of that we're in, is a beautiful commentary on it.
It holds up too,
and it holds up. It's horribly the horrible fact that it still holds up is
it's so underrated.
But at the same time, I'm like, that movie is depressing as fuck. So
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is also, and this makes me sad, I don't think he's done a movie as good as that since.
Fucking Chappie? No.
no.
Elysium?
Chappie wasn't as good as 9.
No. Oh, no.
Well, that's what he's saying.
He sucks.
Elysium was a movie I saw in theaters. I could not tell you the plot of that movie to save my life, except that I remember Jodie Foster was in it.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, Elysium. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I know the movie. I actually really liked the movie.
I'm just saying, he has not done a good movie since District 9.
I'm not debating that. Elysium was nowhere near as good, but I definitely remember that movie. The whole concept behind it was not much different than District 9.
Yeah.
Because basically it was just like a secluded, super ultra rich world of upper class people that basically want for nothing. Healthcare is literally in its perfected stages, but all the serfs, the downtrodden, the lower class people were stuck on Earth with its pollution, bad water, and basic terrible healthcare. And workplace accidents were normal. That's what happened to the guy. And long story short, he tried to use his allotted leftover time, which was literally hours. He stormed the upper 1% of the world and took their everything and forced them all to share. That was basically it.
I mean, it sounds great, but I saw it in theaters and I still don't remember.
Yeah, like I said, if you like the movie, you like the movie, but District 9 was way better.
Yeah. Number 7 is my favorite Harry Potter film. It is also my favorite book. Okay, well, go for it.
I know what it is.
Prisoner of Azkaban.
It's the best film for a reason, in my opinion. I will give credit to where it's due. The first film definitely had the challenge of like trying to establish a world that had never been seen before, trying to define what that world looked like in a relatively short amount of time. If it didn't have the groundwork that was established in it, 3 wouldn't exist. But 3 really just like, in my opinion, established the entire visual language for the rest of the series. It was darker, it was moodier, it was it's pretty. It's a pretty movie. The cinematography was amazing. John Williams came in and like just kicked ass on the soundtrack. Somehow like topped the soundtrack for the first one. It's definitely a very there's liner notes for that soundtrack where he's talking about how they really wanted to move in a more like Shakespearean style of like medieval kind of music, and it's definitely, you can tell. Yeah, love that movie. One of the few Harry Potter films I'll still like pick up every once in a while, because just to be honest with you, 4 was garbage. 5 was
like known as the worst, right?
2 is my least favorite book, and it's also my least favorite movie of the whole set. I mean, 4 is obviously really bad too, but as a non-sports person, I'm the one person who like hates sports, but was also like, the Quidditch World Cup, where is it? Where is this beautiful thing that was so I was wanting sports back in the movie, which is ironic for me. I love it's the director, great vision. I loved Children of Men by him. Gravity was pretty good, but a little underwhelming with the ending. I don't know. I just really like that guy's stuff. I have not seen Roma by him yet, but I really want to. Number 6, David pretty much said everything there is to say because this was his number 1. This is Casino Royale. My favorite Bond. Really just love it because it's foundational as as a good reboot of the series. I don't think we'll ever see a Bond quite like Daniel Craig ever again, and that's fine. But it does, like, it's got the whoever that actor or actress is, it's going to have really deep shoes to fill, and it's because of this film starting that. Number 5 is, I'll say it's probably my number 1 favorite Batman film. Sorry, David. It's The Dark Knight. Here on out, these are going to get a little predictable, perhaps. And that's fine. This is why I only used one list as kind of like a refresher, because it is what it is.
I mean, let's be honest. They're good movies that transcend genre and age, and the 2000s were packed with them.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard. I mean, National Treasure almost made it onto this list.
Such a good movie. Hey, you know what, Jim? I actually was playing with the idea of a movie you may know, putting on my list. It was on my top 15 for some reason, but I liked the movie. I don't even know why. It's a terrible movie. The Ghost of Mars.
Oh God, I forgot.
Holy shit!
I forgot about that movie. I don't remember it, to be honest.
Oh, it's a terrible movie.
It's like 2000, I think. Like
Early.
2000.
Yeah. So the only reason why I didn't make it on my list is, for one, it's just a terrible movie. But it was like Ice Cube, and I think it was like God damn it, it's not John Carpenter. It's not Wes Anderson.
No, it's John Carpenter.
It is John Carpenter then. Okay, yeah. So, I don't even know how I stumbled upon that movie. I think it was just like a thing where, it's like, oh, that looks kind of interesting, and I grabbed it.
Fucking Jason Statham is in that movie. What the fuck?
My gosh,
Young.
I think I might have rented that movie on paper.
For some reason, I thought you were talking about the Gary Sinise Mars movie. I don't know why. Yeah, Mission to Mars.
Oh, no. Come on, man.
Hey, listen. You said Ghost of Mars, and I actually saw Mission to Mars in theaters. Don't know why.
I tell you if I've seen it or not.
Yeah, so where was I at? Yeah, number 5, great Batman film. I really actually dug the Robert Pattinson Batman film.
I like it too.
I have to say, when the Batmobile spins up for the first time in that film, oof, chef's kiss.
There were good parts to that movie, yes, I agree.
It was just so wet, the entire movie.
That's the worst way to say it.
No, it's not. Think about it. At what point in that movie is anything truly dry? It is either raining the entire time, or at worst, he's like mildly damp.
Why don't you just say it? It's a moist movie.
Yeah, it's a wet movie. I don't know how else to say that. Yeah, Dark Knight, incredible performances. Yeah, I don't have a lot of negative things to say about Dark Knight, obviously. Number 4 is my second animated film. It's The Incredibles. I mean, I don't know how else to. This is a little difficult, but between this and like Wall-E and other things, this one just is shot to the top of the list.
So a lot of animated movies on your list. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, for a time, I was pretty. I don't know, I was pretty into animated movies. I still kind of am. Definitely not as much as I used to. And that's not like a childhood, like, oh, I think I'm too old for animation, because definitely not. Nimona, for instance, great movie if you haven't seen that yet. And I think that came out on Netflix 2 years ago, 1 year ago. I think it's just harder to find like animated films that don't feel manufactured, I guess is the right way to say it. Yeah, I don't know. So the third one is going to be the best Marvel film, Iron Man. Saw this in theaters. It was great. Man, I mean, it's really sad just to see how far the MCU has come since then. I mean, what we've talked about it.
Feel vindicated.
Well, okay, I get why, but like we've talked about this ad nauseum, so I'm not going to go into huge things. It's just, I think there was a time and a place where like superhero movies, like, they had their time, and now they can just kind of quietly go away. Saw the trailer for the new Captain America movie last night. I was not excited at all. Whereas, like, if it had been like
serious,
not excited at all.
Wait, no, there's another Captain America movie?
Yeah. Sam Wilson as Captain America. It's got Harrison Ford as General Ross. It's got Red Hulk in it.
No.
So, yeah.
Jeff Bridges in Iron Man is so good.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite actors of all time.
Yeah.
I actually didn't even know who he was, Jeff Bridges, when I first saw the movie because
he was bald.
Well, that and I never really like. Well, I hadn't seen Lebowski yet at that point. So I didn't realize he was the dude. I didn't know his cultural significance. But yeah, man, watching it again recently, I was just like, oh yeah, this movie slaps.
Yeah.
There's one you haven't said yet. Actually, I don't know what year this.
So
never mind.
Well, no. Go ahead and see if you can try to guess my number 2.
Hold on. Did this come?
I got it. Cars.
Fuck no, I hate those movies. Oh god, I hate those movies.
Okay, no, this one it wouldn't be on there. I don't know. Yes, I do.
Do you?
It's either Shaun of the Dead or Hot Fuzz.
Not my number 2.
Okay,
Really?
Your number 1 is either one of those two.
Well, I'm not gonna say.
Actually, hold on. I got it.
A Gentleman Never Reveals.
It's Indiana Jones and the Kingdom.
Ah, you son of a bitch.
I was gonna say Tron Legacy, but that's 2010.
Tron Legacy would definitely make 2010.
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's such a fucking good movie.
Mm-hmm. Great soundtrack too.
Oh, best soundtrack.
I showed you I have the Mondo vinyls for that. Woo! So good. Okay, so number 2 is gonna be Return of the King.
I forgot about Lord of the Rings. Yeah, that sounds about right.
This was hard. Because I remember the rule that we established, and it was that you could only choose one of a franchise. So I abided.
Well,
Jim,
Yeah.
you've got 5 minutes to revise that list, buddy.
Fucker, did you cheat?
You got 5 minutes to revise that section, buddy. I'm just saying. Yeah, so Return of the King is my favorite of the trilogy, although Fellowship is one that I will probably watch a little bit more often. Just because, like, I love the opening sequence, going into Hobbiton and just like the atmosphere, and then the rest of the movie is, it's good. It's definitely a good movie for me. I feel like Return of the King just like it finally found like its footing, and it was like, hey, we're gonna really just like end this on a banger. And it just works for me. It does have 13 endings.
I was just about to say I'd like it more if it didn't have 17 different endings. But...
Yeah, trust me. I was in the theater and it happened, and I was like, "Oh, okay, it's still going." All right.
3 different times. It was brutal.
I didn't watch The Two Towers. Is the only one I didn't see in theaters, and that was not by choice. Not by choice. My brother decided to watch it while me and my parents were on a trip. And I was like, you son of a bitch. So, number 1, it is one of the 2 that you mentioned, but I would like you to actually guess which one it is.
It's Hot Fuzz.
It's 100% Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
Hot Fuzz.
Shaun of the Dead rated higher for me.
So Shaun of the Dead is a great movie. It is one of my favorite Edgar Wright movies. But Hot Fuzz edges it out just because
I think it's more clever.
It's more clever. I think Edgar Wright really found like his visual style and was just like, man, I'm gonna make this fucking movie click. Now, that being said, steals so much stuff from other movies, and that's kind of the point. Like it's supposed to be a homage to buddy cop movies, and yeah, I just think he just found like his groove with that, which does make The World's End a little disappointing for me, because that's my least favorite of the Cornetto trilogy. However, there's rumors that if Simon Pegg can ever get off his fucking busy Mission Impossible 10 schedule, that they're gonna make another like Nick Frost, Edgar Wright, Simon Pegg movie, and I am very excited for that. I will definitely be buying tickets for day one.
What do you think it would be?
I don't know. It's always been based off of the Cornetto flavors, and I truly don't know enough about the flavors to like know what it would be.
Man, I can't believe. Oh.
You can't believe what?
Now, just looking at my list, there's like one movie that I thought was gonna be on everybody's, and none of y'all even mentioned it.
Well, because here, I mean, this is very hard.
It was hard, yeah. It was hard.
I've got a minute left, 2 minutes. Like some of my we'll just say honorable mentions. Born Identity, pretty fucking good movie.
But I agree.
Supremacy was good, but it did start to get into that shaky camera shit, and that really started to bother me. School of Rock, Watchmen. I really dug Watchmen. I also dug 300, but that's... And then after that...
Actually, one movie I almost put on there.
It started... Listen, you can hate it, but man, goddamn. I love the... yeah, pretty much. It's the fucking slow motion. It's good. Ratatouille, another great animated film.
Good movie.
I would say Castaway is like on my runner-up, but it's still a great movie. I'm just kind of rolling down the list here in my last like 30. Oh, Minority Report almost made my list.
Minority Report was actually on my list a few times.
Such a good movie.
Minority Report and Collateral Damage are two killer and underrated Tom Cruise movies.
Well, so that's the thing. Like, I don't like it as
Collateral Damage.
Yeah, for me, Minority Report was just a movie where I actually would have preferred if it wasn't a Tom Cruise movie. More, but at the same time, it would be really hard to find somebody that would work. Also, but it's such a great movie, and the whole science fiction concept behind it. Yeah. Oh, maybe.
So, Edgar Wright's next movie is actually supposed to be Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney for The Running Man.
That dude is gonna be the next like Leo, Brad, like he's.
I'm okay with it. I think he's a good actor.
He's great.
He seems like he's really like down to earth, and I like him. He hasn't done anything to where.
Richard Donner movie Hitman that just came out. I think it was last year. Is so good.
But what about him in Twisters?
He was amazing, but
I know
he's easily the best part.
Did you like Twisters?
No,
not
really.
Oh, that's a bummer. I mean,
every fucking time they'd go to an aerial goddamn shot, and it was either it was also the worst country song I've ever heard, or super overly dramatic, campy, like John Williams type score.
Well, okay, hold on a second. Let's just take a step back. You do recall that Twister had like like a choir going like, oh, it's like Halo.
No, I don't recall that because I haven't seen that movie in probably 25 years.
I need you to watch Twister again and then come back to me.
Alyssa loves that movie, so
come back to me with like because I watched it. Because I watched it probably it's almost been a month, I would say. It was just after Barrel.
Oh, okay.
So like 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah, we measured time with hurricanes in Texas. Yeah, I just watched it just after that, and I was just like, man, this soundtrack. Well, it's interesting.
Fair enough.
So, all right. Well, that's my time. I'm gonna. Here we go, Jim.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna do what I've been doing. I'm gonna hit you with 25. I'm just gonna run through them. All right, 25, directed by Adam McKay, Anchorman: The Legend of Ron Burgundy.
Yep.
24, directed by Richard Linklater, School of Rock. 23, directed by Christopher Nolan, The Dark Knight. 22, directed by Neil Blomkamp, District 9.
Hell yeah.
21, directed by Zack Snyder, Watchmen. 20, directed by Jonathan Dayton and Valerie Faris, Little Miss Sunshine. 19, directed by Bong Joon-ho, The Host. 18, directed by Edgar Wright, Hot Fuzz. 17, directed by Guillermo del Toro, Pan's Labyrinth. 16, directed by Martin Campbell, Casino Royale. 15, directed by Martin Scorsese, The Departed. 14, directed by Wes Anderson, The Royal Tenenbaums. 13, directed by Kevin Smith, Clerks 2. 12, directed by Mary Harron, American Psycho. 11, directed by Fernando Meirelles, I think is what it is, City of God. And that's 11 through 25. All right.
You just reminded me of is that I forgot Hellboy was released in 2004.
Oh, who directed Hellboy?
Guillermo del Toro.
Oh, that's right. Mm-hmm. All right, so number 10, with a budget of $20 million, and it made, and all of my box office numbers are worldwide. So it made $171 million, directed by Greg Mottola. Anybody know?
Greg Mottola. Oh no!
Don't look it up.
Oh no!
Don't look it up.
I don't know.
All right, 2007's Superbad.
Oh.
Okay.
Superbad. So you talk about Blazing Saddles. You talk about Young Frankenstein. You talk about Animal House, like The Jerk. There are these like defined era comedies. His Girl Friday from the 40s, if we're going all the way back. This is our generation's, in my opinion, defining comedy. I think it is so funny. It's cute in some parts where it needs to be. There are still lines from this movie that I repeat insanely regularly. It's a super quotable, no pun intended. The cast is impeccable. It basically introduced an entire new set of writers, directors, and actors into the world. Mean, it's in my opinion. Looking at this, it's the second best comedy, and probably the best, and it is the best pure comedy of the 2000s. Superbad.
Really?
Is this?
Yes.
Is this technically like Jonah Hill's like?
Well,
debut?
He was in 40-year-old virgin.
Oh, okay.
So that's the thing. 40-year-old. I was gonna say the 40-year-old virgin. I would rate higher than the Superbad.
Yeah, I mean that's Superbad, Knocked Up, and Crashers, 40-Year-Old Virgin, Dodgeball. Yeah, like those are
old school.
Like
Step Brothers.
Yes, old school. Exactly. Like those are all so good. But super, and you wouldn't be wrong. Interchanging any of those movies into like that spot for me, but Superbad is mine. I don't know how many times I say, well, the funny thing about my back is it's located on my cock. I don't know how many times I say that in a month, but I say it a lot.
Oh, God.
All right. So, number 9, I can't imagine you guys will know this. No offense. I'm not, no offense. But it was 2003, directed by Park Chan-wook. It had a budget of $3 million. Box office made $18 million. Any guesses at all?
No.
Nothing? Okay. It is 2003's Old Boy. If you've never seen it or never heard of it,
oh my god, listen. I had to step away for just a second. I apologize, but I was listening. Oh, what a mindfuck that movie.
You seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah,
the Josh Brolin remake is bullshit, but
I know it's on Netflix.
It is on Netflix.
I would don't read anything about the plot. That's all I'm gonna say. Go into it completely blind. I encourage you to watch it with subtitles.
Yeah.
Or I mean, you kind of have to, really.
Yeah, because it's on Netflix, and I don't think it has a.
Well, you don't know Korean? Come on, man.
Yeah,
but yeah, just don't just go into it blind. Then let us know what you think.
But it's funny, it's witty, it's absolutely violent, it's action, it's literally has a little bit of everything. It's super depressing, but ultimately, it's a fucking genius movie. I'm surprised you've seen it, Geoff.
Are you really though? I mean, I go all over the place. Snowpiercer, he did Snowpiercer too, didn't he?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was kind of fucked too.
Really good movie.
Yes.
All right. So number 8, 2004. You'll get this, guys. 2004, directed by Edgar Wright. A budget of $6 million, made $39 million worldwide. It is
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead. I saw that movie in the theater so many times. I bought it immediately on DVD when it came out. It is so funny and so heartwarming and so it nailed zombies, but not in a way that felt like it was disrespecting the genre, like so many other horror comedies or other zombie movies. It treated let me rephrase that. It treated the Romero zombie with the respect it deserves.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts of Zombieland?
Oh, I really like Zombieland too. I don't think it disrespects just because they're fast. That's just because a zombie is fast doesn't mean they're, but because they get the origin somewhat right. So Shaun of the Dead, absolutely chef's kiss. Probably if we're going just by movies that have comedy in it, the best comedy of the 2000s in my opinion. I say I got red on you. You got red on you. I say that almost daily. That movie came out 20 years ago. All right, 2009, number 7. 2009, directed by Wes Anderson with a budget of $40 million, making $58 million in the box office. Considered a flop. What is the movie?
Wait, what year was this?
2009.
2009. Is this Life Aquatic?
No.
Okay.
It is Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Oh.
I forgot about that movie.
Adore this movie.
I didn't remember it was 2009.
Yeah, this was my warm and fuzzy movie. This is my when I'm sad, I put this on. When I'm happy, I put this on. If I were to show somebody like what I think the best Western style animated movie of all time is, I think it's Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Whoa, okay.
Sorry, I do. I think it's absolutely a perfect film. The length is perfect. The music is fantastic. The story is great. George Clooney is so good.
I did appreciate how they filmed this.
Yes. Yes.
Well, filmed is not the correct word, but yeah. You might need to. So this is one of the first. So Criterion Collection is starting to do 4K Blu-rays.
Yeah, they're doing Repo Man this month.
I have the 4K version for Fantastic Mr. Fox. It's pretty cool to read it because it's got like, I don't know, it's got some like
collect those movies. I have the streaming service, which is fucking great, but
you should, and at least twice a year.
They do big sales.
50% off. That's always when I pick them up. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one just ended.
It did, but I was able to get Budapest Hotel.
I want the Before trilogy. Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, Before Midnight.
So I will keep an eye out, not to digress too much, but I'll keep an eye out. Half Price has been slowly getting a bunch of Criterion Collection stuff in.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't think they even did a Blu-ray of that. I think it's just DVD.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out though.
Cool. So number 6. One of y'all have already mentioned this. Came out in 2003 with a budget of $30 million, directed by Quentin Tarantino. Made $181 million. It is Kill Bill Volume 1. This was the first. So keep in mind, 2003, Kill Bill Volume 1 comes out. We've only had from Quentin Tarantino. We've only had Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, and Jackie Brown. Those are the only 3 movies. Jackie Brown being the previous one from 1997. So I have seen all these movies by this point, but like with on DVD and stuff like that. Kill Bill was not only my first Quentin Tarantino movie to see in the theater. It was also the first R-rated movie that I just went up to the box office, paid, and went in. Because I had turned 17, I think, like a week before the movie came out. And
gosh, I actually don't remember what my first R-rated film was.
I snuck into an R-rated movie.
See, that's different. I did too.
Year before, it's different though. I snuck into Jackass.
Yeah.
Jackass movie. Yeah. What David said. It's choreographed so well. The music in it is incredible. The 5, 6, 7, 8s do an amazing job. The animation in that big chunk in the middle is great. I hope they someday come out with what is referred to as the Whole Bloody Affair, which is 1 and 2 just in one movie, which is how the movie was supposed to be filmed in the first place. But I'm glad that there are those 2 movies that exist, because I wouldn't want anything cut. And not saying anything bad about the second one. I think the second one is fine. But it's that first one, the fight scene that they literally had to go black and white to be able to get it to show in America at an R rating and not an NC-17 rating. Like, it's absolutely brilliant. It takes so much from, and Sonny Chiba is actually in the movie, but like old Sonny Chiba movies, Street Fighter, stuff like that from the 70s. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely brilliant. I mean, who doesn't want a pussy wagon? All right,
Good
so
stuff.
Top five. This is the movie that I'm shocked that y'all didn't mention. I thought this was like everybody's favorite 2000s movie, and I felt almost cliche putting it on my list, but it's so fucking good.
Oh, the Fast and the Furious.
Oh, fuck off.
Came out in 2007. Had a budget of $25 million, made $172 million. Directed by Joel and Ethan Coen.
Oh, okay. No Country for Old Men.
No Country for Old Men.
Okay, so not to just like completely interrupt you, but
No,
I've watched that movie 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
First time. It's just one of those things where it's just like it came out, I just never got around. That's a lot with me. Movie comes out, I wait, and then eventually I'll watch it when like the mood strikes.
Yeah. 20 years later, the mood's
100%.
For some reason, this movie gets oftentimes compared to There Will Be Blood. I think it came out at around a similar time. I like There Will Be Blood, but No Country for Old Men is great. Tommy Lee Jones rules in it. Josh Brolin, holy shit, just kicking ass in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
His name, Javier Bardem, is such a good villain. The way he is killing people in homes and stuff like that is fucking nuts. Yeah, it's just it's a scary. For some reason, the like rural America in the early 80s is like a horrifying time for me. Like to live. I don't know. It just seems bad.
No, I don't blame you at all on that.
But yeah, number 5, No Country for Old Men. Number 4, 2001. This is actually a movie I've watched within the last year for the very first time, and it had such an impact on me. I'm not gonna say the director yet because you figure it out. 2001, budget of $19 million. Worldwide box office, it made $358 million.
Jesus fuck.
Directed by Mr. Miyazaki.
Oh. Okay.
It is Spirited Away.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
Oh man. I don't think it's better than Perfect Blue or Akira, which are other movies I've had in my 80s and 90s list.
What about on your list of Miyazaki films? Okay, I was about to say.
It is I think the best Miyazaki film. Yes. Eric, I don't know, maybe because I've seen it more recently, I think this, but The Wind Rises from 2013 is brilliant. My wife fucking hates that movie.
I haven't watched that or the new one yet, but it is on my list.
Yeah, I know. Spirited Away, absolutely. The animation is incredible. The story is so simple yet so complicated and filled with like so much. I don't know if strategy is the right word, but so much strategery that it built this world that seemed plausible when it's completely illogical. But Spirited Away is phenomenal. I can't tell you anymore.
I definitely want to attend.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Is it? Do they serve the food though with it as well? Is that what you're thinking of?
I don't know.
So there's the theaters that will actually like as the food comes on screen, they will give that dish to you.
Nice.
And I'm just like, that's my jam right there.
40.
Fucking. Did you see Twisters in 4D? I'm just kidding. I know you didn't.
They had replaced Twisters with Deadpool. Yeah, we were going to, and then it just we didn't want to go see it that first week, and literally they took it out and put Deadpool and Wolverine in like all the 40 theaters, and we didn't want to drive downtown, so. Yeah. Number 4, Spirited Away. Number 3. 2000, Kinji Fukasaku, budget of $4.5 million, only made back $1.3 million. This is considered an absolute failure of Japanese filmmaking. But I think over the years it's developed more of a cult following. I think the movie is incredible. I think the book is even better. I would say the book is one of my favorite books, if not my favorite book of all time. I don't know if you guys have heard of this movie, but Battle Royale.
Yes. Otherwise,
You don't know Battle Royale.
Yeah.
And you probably know Hunger Games, which
yeah.
Susan Collins completely ripped this shit off.
Yeah.
From Battle Royale. It follows a ninth grade class that the rules are the government chooses one ninth grade class to compete, and all the students kill each other until one remains. It's part entertainment, part like trying to, like the book describes, trying to like dwindle down the overpopulation. This has a little bit of a twist where, and I'm not spoiling anything, where the one of the teachers from their past volunteers them basically because he didn't like them very much. And then it's absolutely brutal. It's super heartbreaking at parts. It's well written. It's beautifully acted. And I think it's just the music is absolutely incredible. If it wasn't for the next two movies on the list, it would be easily my number one. Japanese movie, so and there is a dub on Prime, but it's so poorly done that if you are able to watch it with the subtitles, definitely do it. But yeah, number 3, Battle Royale. Number 2, because Geoff says I have to.
Fucking hell.
2002, directed by Peter Jackson, budget $94 million. box office $923 million. Holy shit. I'm talking about Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. It's funny.
Ooh, that's interesting.
I think the absolute best Lord of the Rings movie. I was gonna do all 3 of them as like, you know, as most Lord of the Rings fans would do.
As like a big fuck you to my rule system.
Like a big fuck you, but I'm gonna be respectful and I'm gonna pick one.
That's good.
And it's 2002's The Two Towers. I think it's just overall the best. I think the Battle of Helm's Deep is amazing. I think the tie-in PlayStation 2 video game is one of the best PS2 games of all time. I don't know what I could say about The Two Towers that we already know. Deep, you know, Gandalf coming back as Gandalf the White. Like, it's the most epic and grand
Lord.
of the trilogy, in my opinion. I think the Battle of Helm's Deep is the greatest battle scene.
It's definitely one of those films where like I don't dislike it. It is good in its own regard. For whatever reason, it's just I did this with Empire too. Maybe it's because I just don't like middle parts of the story.
That's crazy because Empire is so clearly the best Star Wars.
Nah, I disagree.
I know.
I think it's because like I like finality, and it's why I have a really hard time starting stuff that isn't finished. So like
that's why I wanted to do all 3 of them.
Yeah, no, I get it, but like, I don't know. That's just how I am in general.
But I'm saying Two Towers.
Okay.
That isn't even a hard choice in my opinion. If I had to pick, it'd be Two Towers, Return of the King, Fellowship, and even putting them in that order makes it sound like, oh, I like Fellowship the least. it's more like gun in my head. That's the order I'd put them in.
Yeah, I understand.
So, but yeah, Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, 2002. I definitely saw it in theaters, as I did all three of them. But yeah. All right. Before I even say anything, does anybody know what my number one is going to be?
No, because my brain is a little addled at this point. We're starting to get near the end of this, and it's been a lot to process. So I will not try to guess your last one.
There were also just a lot of movies that came out in the 2000s.
So many.
I will say
my original list had over 100 movies on it.
Well, I will say that this has probably been our best one yet because we did not have a lot of crossover.
No, I think
like we had some. We had Kill Bill. We had The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight was like that was my number 23. So.
Yeah, but I know, but like we had a crossover with me and David.
Yeah.
So it's just like, there's been very little crossover comparatively this time.
Well, this number one nobody's talked about yet.
Okay.
David,
number one movie. Saw.
Ugh, no, I'm not a big Saw guy. That would make like my top 100, maybe. It's okay. It's all right.
I was forced to watch that movie, and I still don't like it.
I just don't. I think the first one is fine. The second one is meh. But like I've seen the third one, and I think it sucks. And I've never watched any of the other ones. So
what do you mean? Saw 7 isn't high on the list for you?
No, it's Saw 11. I think comes out next year.
Oh God!
My first like Serious X, love that series so much.
It's basic. It's no offense. It's basic horror.
Here's the thing. Like, so Saw was my very first in theater horror movie. Because I had a date that was really into horror movies, so that was one of the movies we watched.
Wait, when did Saw come out?
2002, maybe 4.
4.
04.
Yeah, 04. That sounds about right. Yeah, because that had been that one person.
I also like James Wan. Yeah, I love Insidious. I love The Conjuring.
I actually found it more humorous than I did horror because it's like just play the fucking game. Like, yeah, I understand morals gets in the way, but sometimes you just gotta let the dude lose their arm. Because what's an arm compared to your life? But
James Wan, this is a great movie. Just let me give you I know I'm going to go into my number one. James Wan directed this movie too. 2007's remake for Death Sentence starring Kevin Bacon. If you haven't seen it, and I don't think a lot of people did, it is so fucking good. I highly recommend that. Sorry, I didn't even think about that movie, and I just saw it on Letterboxd. So okay, right.
He's also doing a fucking Gargoyles live action show.
I did hear about that.
All right, you're number one.
All right, number one. All right, so let me pull it back up here. All right, so I'm not going to say the director because you guys will know it right away. Came out in 2009. Budget of $70 million. It made $321 million. Directed by Quentin Tarantino. It is Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah, you know what? That was one of my top 15 too.
It is, I think, the greatest war movie that's ever existed. You can say, I get it. I get it. I understand.
So,
let me. Would it make you happier if I said it is the greatest historical fiction movie that's ever existed?
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm right on board with David. I don't consider that a war film. I consider it set in a period in which war occurred, but it's not. Which I know sounds a little backwards, but it's not like objectively, like you're not seeing.
By your definition, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
No.
There's a difference. What I think he's saying is like it's about as much of a war film as Star Trek is a space odyssey.
Yes, Star Trek is a Space Odyssey.
What I'm trying to get at is that it's set during World War II, obviously.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just.
But it's I know, but it's like one of the
But it's not like so. Like it's not really. It's not a true historical or more accurate historical recount. That's what we're saying. Like,
yeah,
obviously, Inglourious Basterds is more fiction than historical. It just happens to be based in World War II.
Actually, and I would say it's almost.
It's about as historically accurate as Captain America. Let's just put it that way.
It doesn't need to be. It doesn't. It's not going for
right. But that's what we mean by that. When I think of war movies, I think of war movies like it's a little bit more.
Saving Private Ryan. I get it.
Right, or like Brothers, or
like there's some realism like. There's some grounded reality where this is basically to me like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh yeah,
because it's just like those events in the ending didn't really happen. Like you would love for that to be the case, but it didn't really happen.
Right, like to me, Monument Men would be far more a war movie than Inglourious Basterds. So.
But I get it, and I'm not surprised this is on your list. This is probably one of my favorite Tarantino films, and this was kind of crossing my mind earlier. I'm not. What's the best way to put this? Tarantino is not my favorite filmmaker. Especially in recent years. Like the more like I like watch interviews with him, I feel like he's just like his ego is just like getting the best of him at most times, especially because this is a great callback. Did you know that he was in the contention to direct Casino Royale?
I mean, but at the same, that also saying that it would be like, okay. Yeah, but also the person who was supposed to do Casino Royale as the new James Bond was also oh god damn it, who's Superman? I can't think of his name all of a sudden.
Henry Cavill?
Yeah, Cavill was actually on the short list, as in like he was number one pick until before Daniel Craig.
Well, no, so they had just gotten the rights back to Casino Royale. Eon did, and he was like. He pitched it. He's like, I want to do Casino Royale as a period piece, black and white, with Pierce Brosnan as James Bond.
Oh no, he's
I'd
too
be
old.
so into that.
But like that's the thing, but this is the thing that got me about that whole thing. And he's like, they would not have made Casino Royale as it was now if it weren't for me.
What?
that's a quote by Quentin Tarantino, and I was like, "Fuck, man! Like, have your own vision."
I mean, he's right from a certain point of view, but
okay, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
But I was gonna say, I mean, also, the Empire is actually the good guys. Let's be real.
Jesus.
I mean, if we're gonna go there.
Like, don't get me wrong, I like Quentin Tarantino films. I like them, but it's one of those things where it's like...
But why do you care so much about weirdo people that do the thing? Like, I don't care about the person behind the camera. I care about the...
That's because... And not to be rude.
I'm with Geoff on that. So
not to be rude.
But
here's the thing: you guys go out of your way to find some flaw with the person. Like, I watch.
Hold on. You're mistaken. Hold on. Is Quentin Tarantino a pompous ass? 100%. I don't think that makes you a bad person necessarily.
No, I don't think so either. And that doesn't make his films bad. What I'm trying to get at is that there's a lot of people that are like, oh, he is like cream of the crop, best thing that's ever been made.
Yeah, and I think he's the greatest of all time.
I don't think he's at that level. To me personally, I like his films.
Who has made more consistently great movies than Quentin Tarantino? In your mind,
Steven Spielberg.
Consistent?
I'm not looking at consistency versus. Look at the quality. Look at the amount of movies he's released, which is a lot.
Right. Spielberg, yes, absolutely.
And just, he's made more movies than Tarantino, obviously.
Oh yeah, because he's not.
I would almost argue that of the, what is he on, 9 films now?
Yeah.
Spielberg probably has more than 9 films that are better. Not better, but of like good quality. You know what I'm talking about?
No, 100% really high quality, because like one of the movies that I actually struggled to take off my list was a Spielberg's movie. I'm pretty sure you guys know which one I'm about to talk about. It's from 2002. It's Catch Me If You Can. That was a great movie.
That made my top 50.
Oh, it was a great movie.
Can I tell you why I like Inglourious Basterds?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to digress.
Christopher Waltz is like the greatest bad guy.
I also love how Christoph Waltz went from this to the Green Hornet.
Oh God!
I forgot about the Green Hornet. Oh
yeah, for a good reason.
So,
come on! Seth Rogen slipped down for that movie.
If you don't like Quentin Tarantino, if you've never seen a Quentin Tarantino movie, you just want an example of an absolutely perfect scene in a movie. It is the beginning of the movie where Christoph Waltz is talking with Denis Ménochet, who plays the farmer, talking to him in both German, French, and then English, looking for the Jewish family that he's shepherding in his home. And I don't think there are many more scenes in films that are better than that. The rest of the movie, I think, just happens to be brilliant too. Brad Pitt is amazing. Eli Roth as the bear Jew absolutely is so funny. The scene in the basement where there's supposed to be an ambush, I won't get into it, but absolutely perfect. Watching Hitler's face just get absolutely destroyed and obliterated by gunshots. Great. The actress, whose name is Melanie Laurent, plays Shoshana, is I can't believe she's not more famous than she is.
What do you mean? She did Catch Me If You Can. I'm not Catch Me If You Can. No. Now You See Me.
Now You See Me. She's in another movie that I like that I can't remember right now, so I must not like it that much. But she's
Oxygen?
Yeah, I'm looking at her.
Like Enemy of the State or something. I can't remember. Anyways, she's fantastic. I think her and she falls in that Julie Delpy category of just amazing French actresses that don't get their dues. Leah Seydoux is in this movie and she doesn't even have a line. Like that's how killer this movie is. Samuel L. Jackson narrates a chunk of it and he's not even in the credits. He just is Quentin was like, hey, can you do this for me? I'm not going to credit you. And he did it for free. That's how much of an impact Quentin Tarantino has on his team. And yeah, I think
I didn't even realize what's his face did the narration.
Mm-hmm. And you already said it. Christoph Waltz is
such a good bad guy,
incredible bad guy. Michael Fassbender maybe has one of the greatest accents in this movie I've ever heard of a British person. It's so good. It does take me out a little bit just because, and it's not his fault or the movie's fault, but BJ Novak being one of the bastards.
It's because of The Office.
I can't think of anything other than
Yeah,
Ryan
I
from
get
The
it.
Office. Yeah. Mike Myers
Yeah.
as Mike Myers in the movie as General Ed Finneck is so good. Like, yeah, it's just.
I will say it's up there because like Django Unchained is one of my
Oh, that's one of my favorite Quentin Tarantino movies.
Let me ask you a question.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Have you guys seen all of the Quentin Tarantino movies?
I haven't seen Jackie Brown.
I haven't seen Jackie Brown either.
You guys should watch it, and then we should do a whole Quentin Tarantino episode.
Okay.
All right.
Where we round robin it. It's like, all right, number 9. My number 9 is blank. Jeff's number 9 is blank. David's number 9 is blank. Like, I think that'd be fun.
That could be fun. It could be.
I don't think mine will be all that surprising.
Yeah, because you don't like Quentin Tarantino. I mean, because you're psycho.
It's not that necessarily. Like
that's a good idea. Just
like I bought like his like box set.
His box set.
Oh yeah.
I haven't.
I thought he wasn't done with all his movies yet.
Well,
isn't there like one more?
Well, he has got one more, and he also has like True Romance, in it, which he wrote, and then him selling True Romance is what got him to be able to pay for Reservoir Dogs. And so yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling
he's got 4 rooms in it too, which is he wrote one of the 4 parts of the movie.
Yeah, because I don't think
he directed a scene from Sin City.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna happen eventually. Is he's just gonna do like screenplays and books.
Well, so the novelization of, I don't want to turn this into a Quentin Tarantino podcast, and I know we're running late. The novelization of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is so good, and it's so different than the movie. It almost like makes me like, I want to see that movie. And he made a movie called Cinema Speculation, which is basically like, he's just talking about movies that he fucking loves. And so yeah, and the Hateful Eight was a movie that famously, like, the script got leaked, and so that's why he's like so finicky with like showing people his scripts, and like he was gonna make that movie The Critic, about her name escapes me, but like about that female critic from the 70s that would receive like death threats and stuff. But he scrapped it, I think, because like one thing got out, and so I don't know what that 10th movie will be.
Yeah, I don't know.
I do know he's working on a novelization of Reservoir Dogs, though, which will be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. So wait, Death Proof and Grindhouse, are those considered?
Yeah. Well,
Death
okay.
Proof is not.
Yeah,
Planet Terror.
Okay. Planet Terror is Robert Rodriguez.
Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely considered one of his. So like in the collection, let me just.
Would you say Planet Terror? Is that what you said?
Planet Terror is the Robert Rodriguez movie.
Oh no, what I'm talking about is Grindhouse.
No,
okay.
Grindhouse is 2 movies.
Yeah.
It's Planet Terror.
I'm following you. I'm following you now. Yeah. Okay, so
it's meant what Grindhouse movies theaters were back in the day, where they couldn't afford to like put the movies in theaters themselves, so they would partner with other people who also couldn't afford it, and they would
be like a double feature.
Exactly.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I had this version, but it was just DVD. Like I didn't have the Blu-ray set because Blu-ray wasn't
I
really huge.
also have the DVD. I don't have the Blu-ray.
Yeah. I actually don't know where this set went. I have very few DVDs still on my shelf. Most of them have been converted to Blu-ray at this stage. Because I don't like to DVD is okay. VHS is
an open copy of Pulp Fiction on VHS.
I know. I don't understand that, dude. I don't understand it. I get it, but it's like I don't know. It's like 4:3 aspect ratio. It's potato quality at this stage.
So perfect.
Oh no.
Hey, Pulp Fiction is. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen it in a widescreen aspect.
Oh, I watched it in 4K the other day, and it looks good.
4K widescreen?
Yeah, it looks fucking good.
Okay. All right.
It's one of those things where like I like to consistently like upgrade the quality of my collection only because there's details. Did you just send a binary pixel image to us?
Why did that happen?
Did you send it in RAW? You did send it in RAW.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to fucking open this bitch up in Photoshop.
No, I'm deleting it. Hold on.
Oh, I've already got it on my computer. Hold on. Photoshop.
What? MacBook? It automatically opened up RAW.
You know I don't own a MacBook.
Has it?
Actually, my wife does. She has a MacBook. She owns a M1 MacBook. Yeah.
A good one.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna go over to her computer. Just open this up.
I know. I will.
Guys.
Listen, I like to consistently upgrade this stuff simply because there's details that get added every single upgrade that you get. Someone was doing like a comparison between Alien on VHS, Alien on DVD. No, he went straight to DVD. DVD, then to Blu-ray, and then to 4K, and it was just like, obviously the leap from Blu-ray to 4K isn't as crazy, but there's still just like hidden details and stuff. I mean, if you watch Jim, do you, for Lord of the Rings, do you own the DVDs or the Blu-rays?
The Blu-rays.
So this I had no idea. If you watch Fellowship of the Ring now, there is a green tint on the entire movie.
Green
that is not. There's that on like how they color corrected it. That is like not what the theatrical release was like.
So they pulled a Matrix.
No, they didn't pull a Matrix. Fellowship of the Ring was right in between the transition between chemical color correction and digital color correction. So Two Towers had digital color correction. Fellowship was still the like photochemical. We need to like, that's how they color corrected everything. So when the 4K release came around, and this, I don't know if it's been completely confirmed, but they were supposed to have scanned in a 4K print of the 35 millimeter film, and they digitally color corrected each film to be consistent with each other. So for the first time, you're watching like you can definitely tell when you're watching like the scene where they're going up the mountain like to Isengard, like near Isengard, the Pass of Cardahaus or whatever it's called. If you watch it on Blu-ray, there's like a green like sheen over the entire image. It's not how it was supposed to look. That's just, for whatever reason, when it went from DVD to Blu-ray, that was that's what happened.
Interesting.
So you're seeing like a lot of 4K releases that are kind of like walking that back. As they're doing the restoration, they're usually calling the director up and saying, hey, we want you to approve this like new version or whatever, and they'll color correct it and make all, because usually they have to do HDR color mixing for these new releases. And if the director is willing and able, they'll come in and like supervise that process to make sure it's like as accurate as possible.
Huh. That's interesting.
The more you know.
Yes.
But I digress. This is the reason why I upgrade to these new formats, is because like HDR is fucking cool. And 4K releases are pretty awesome.
Nice. I don't have a 4K Blu-ray player, so.
Do you have a 4K TV?
Yes.
So you can just stream 4K content to your TV. You don't have to have a Blu-ray. It's not as good, but it's still pretty good. And that's it. That's our episode.
All right.
I don't know what time we clocked in at, but it was probably just over 2 hours. Just under. I mean, that's what happened. So next episode.
Oh god.
We can determine this now. We can kind of break away a little bit. Maybe take a pause on the 2010 through. Why did my mind just blank? 2019. You want to do the 70s? Okay. All right, we'll do the 70s. That'll be on our next episode.
Yes.
David.
Or Tarantino.
Ooh.
Let's do Tarantino first, because I want that to be fresh in our minds. I need to get a copy of Jackie Brown, so I'll need to figure that out.
Have it in that box set?
No. I like I said, I got rid of that box set because I left DVD. So I don't have.
Do you have? I think it's on Netflix actually. I can tell you.
Yeah, I'm sure it's somewhere.
It is 100% streaming on something. I just can't remember what it is. The Roku channel.
The Roku channel. Shut up.
Prime. Do you have Prime?
Yeah, I've also got YouTube.
Oh, okay. Yep. There you go. Perfect.
Oh, this is my PSA for anyone who's streaming on their computer. Netflix, Amazon Prime, especially YouTube. Do not stream movies on your computer.
What?
Why? The reason why is because they have DRM rights protection that will make it certain that you cannot stream anything above 1080p in a browser. So if you try to watch Amazon Prime, it's not going to go above 1080p. Some people, doesn't bother them. On YouTube, it's especially heinous because it's in 480p.
Yeah.
Fuck YouTube. Do not do it. As odd as it sounds, you need to have like a PlayStation or something that can install an app and run it from the app, and then it'll just display Inglourious whatever you have. PSA.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'll watch Jackie Brown. I think that's the only. I need to double check my list. I think that's the only Quentin Tarantino film I have not yet watched.
All right. It's mostly. I think it's. We'll get into it.
All right. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Next time, Quentin Tarantino podcast, 70s TBD. But it will happen eventually, I promise. Thank you all so much for joining. You all have a great night.
Bye.
End recording.